Hello, children. How are you today? My name is Mr. Fred, as usual, and I am here to teach you English. Are you excited? I sure am. Today we want to talk about modal auxiliary verbs. So we want to talk about helping you understand modal auxiliary verbs and use them. So what are modal auxiliary verbs? In everything I've said so far, I'm sure that what you heard more than anything else is the word verbs. So somewhere in everything I've said, you have heard verbs, right? That's interesting. Yes, because modal auxiliary verbs are a type of verbs. If you've been going through my lessons in the past, I have talked about action verbs, and I have also talked about linking verbs. So today, we're going to talk about modal auxiliary verbs. Before we get started, let's just point out something real quick. Modal auxiliary verbs are a type of auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verbs are what we call helping verbs. So you would understand that there are two main types of verbs. We have what's called lexical verbs and helping verbs. A lexical verb is a verb that can stand on its own. I love soccer. In that sentence, love is a lexical verb. It's a main verb. As you can see, in that entire sentence, love is the only verb there and it can stand on its own. But what about this? I am eating fried rice or whatever. As you can see there is I, the subject, and there's fried rice, the object, what's being eaten. What's in the middle? I'm eating. Remember, in one of my previous lessons, I talked about the SVO structure. And that's what we have. I am eating fried rice. I is a subject. I'm eating is a verb. And fried rice is the object. But why do we have two verbs here? It's because am is a helping verb. Eating is the main verb. So a helping verb performs a grammatical function in supporting the main verb to carry out its full function. Without am there, the sentence will look a little unbalanced, right? I can't say I eating fried rice. Something would obviously be missing, right? So that's how helping verbs function. A modal auxiliary verb is a kind of helping verb. Now let me just quickly distinguish between modal auxiliary verbs and primary auxiliary verbs. The main primary auxiliary verbs we have are verb do and all the do verbs like do, did, done, verb be and all the be verbs like am, is, are, was and the rest of them, and have, which is have, has, having, had and all that. Now, these verbs are different from modal auxiliary verbs. Mind you, they are also helping verbs, just like modal auxiliary verbs, but they are verbs that can change their form. But modal auxiliary verbs, on the other hand, cannot change their form. So we can have a sentence structure like I am for the verb be. He is. You are. Can you see what happened? It's still the verb be, but the first one was I am. The form of the verb was am. The second one was what? He is. The form of the verb was what? Is. And the third one was what? We are or you are. So you see, one single verb, the verb be, display three forms: am, is, and are. That tells you that what? That is a verb that changes its form. But modal auxiliary verbs do not change their form. Now let's pick a very common modal auxiliary verb, can. If I took those same pronouns I just used with the primary auxiliary verb, you will see that nothing will change. I can, you can, he can, we can, they can. You see, can, it didn't change. So modal auxiliary verbs do not change their form. Now let's look at the four major types of modal auxiliary verbs. We have the verb can, and could. We have the verb will and would. We have the verb may and might. And we have the verb used to. So can, could, will, would, may, might, and used to. Now, let's begin with can and could. Now, you're going to have to do a lot more research on this, but can and could are mainly used to show ability. I can drive a car. While could also serves as a past form for can, they are both used to show ability. Now, the second one we're going to consider is may and might. They are modal auxiliary verbs that are used to show permission. While can and could are used to show ability, may and might mainly are used to show permission. You're going to have to do more research and you will find that there are other things they show, but mostly they are used to show permission, while might serves as a past form for may. For example, may I use the restroom? That's a good example of how may is used to show permission. The next modal auxiliary verb we're going to look at is will and would. And they are both used to show willingness, both of them. Like I said before, you're going to have to do more research on this, but they are used to show a willingness. I will do my homework by 5 p.m. They are used to show willingness. The final one is used to. And as it implies, used to is used to show an action that occurred in the past. So there you have it. We have looked at modal auxiliary verbs today. You can see that it's a helping verb, but unlike primary auxiliary verbs, modal auxiliary verbs do not change their form. We looked at 4 of them: can and could to show ability, may and might to show permission, will or would to show willingness, and used to express past action. I hope you will go out there and start using these to communicate with your friends, your neighbors, as you practice all that you have learned today. Until we meet again, have a good one. Bye.